What is up, dudes and dudettes? My name is Sir Crit, here with an intro to Rumble Fighter, also known as RF, a free-to-play MMO game with real mixed martial arts and fast-paced beat-em-up action, developed by WeMain Entertainment and Limitless, that was originally published by OG Planet. The game is a translated port of an original game called Gem Fighter, which originated from Korea. Until recently, Rumble Fighter was only open to users residing in the United States and Canada, but is now available to users residing in Europe. Brawl against your friends and train to become the top Rumble Fighter. In this video, I'll be explaining what it is to be expected of this game for either newcomers or long-term veterans of the game, varying from characters, game mode, the new Rune System, and its combat, which I will give a more in-depth video of that all on its own because there's a lot more to cover on that subject. So, be on the lookout for that.
A long time ago, the Dark Lord broke the peace treaty with the gods and commanded his dark forces to conquer the unsuspecting Rumble Fighter world. The vulnerable Rumble Fighter world was almost completely taken over by the dark forces. When all hope was lost, a miracle happened. Powerful heroes chosen by the gods arrived to defend against the dark forces. The raging battle between dark forces and heroes went on for so long that it seemed like it would never end. However, the heroes prevailed and finally sealed the Dark Lord. Peace would finally return to the Rumble Fighter world. However, the great heroes did not have time to enjoy the peace. Dark forces that scattered after the battle are actively attempting to break the seal and rescue the Dark Lord. Thus, the heroes are still out there fighting for the Rumble Fighter world. The heroes united together under an association called the Guardians. Every member dedicates each day training and hunting the dark forces.
Yeah, I don't know why I put this in here. The game doesn't even really have a lore. I mean, I guess I could make one for it eventually, something. Anyways, each class has a set of preset attributes that can be affected by various items, including gem enchantments in Rumble Fighter. Where the HP is your health points, this is your health meter. Skill points, this is your special skills meter. Strength, this is your damage meter. Armor, this is your defense meter. Speed, this is your movement meter. Speeder? What? Jump, this is your height meter for jump, obviously. Critical meter, this attribute affects your chance for critical damage. No class has a base critical damage. Critical hits do 50% more damage with a plus 10 crit. Your critical chance increases by 1% with each plus 10 crit. Special Exocore attacks and throws cannot do critical damage. Keep in mind, once you reach level 25, you can spend 675 red coins for a subclass of either Assassin for more critical hits, or Saver, being able to get up immediately with a key command after you get knocked down. This is the screen you will be presented with once you create an account on redfoxgames.com. FYI, the username you create for your account will not be your in-game username. Just saying. And launch the game. Here we have the Striker, combatants of raw strength. This is a class where if you like offense over everything else, well, this is the class for you. Next up, we have the Soul Fighter. These types of people are living, breathing ninjas because their speed and jump stats are unmatched. More like a ninja werewolf beast things, because look at its default Exocore. Here's a better look. Yeah. Moving on to the Elementalist, who specializes in all that is mana. Spell power, skill points, or magic power combined, that has the potential to be a pretty damn annoying spammable character. The Alchemist. Not really like the people in Full Metal Alchemist, but something similar with weapons that dabbles, intimidating gear with incredible defense. In exchange, must compensate for the slow speeds. Sorry I couldn't have the same fancy smashy screens like the other 4 classes have because, you know, reasons. But here is a class that I'm ashamed it was degraded to this extent because shamans have a well-balanced strength, defense, and speed. yet excels in neither. Okay, makes sense. Android is just a simple yet broken class, not just because it's only for females, but it has a pretty fast regenerative SP abilities with no accessories needed, but only available after reaching level 20. Speaking of which, I think the Shaman has a level cap on it too, but I can't recall. Don't quote me on that, don't quote me. Because my brain is telling me that at one point I got angry at Shaman because I couldn't obtain it when I was ready to purchase it. Oh, and Shaman is the only class acquired with real money or digital money, whichever you prefer. You have the option of picking one out of the 6 classes this game has available to offer. Of course, depending if you want to be male or female. But come on, let's be honest, where there was a game where dudes were dudes and dudettes were dudettes. I myself have a female set. I mean, not that I use it, I just like to look at it. New players will start off with a default Exocore assigned to their specific class. It allows players to transform, become stronger, and gain new abilities depending on the class you use. This weapon system can be activated by the default keys A or S, and the skills can be used with default keys B or V. New players will start off with a default Exocore assigned to their specific class. All Exocores give players 2 special attacks that can cause serious damage to the opponent, cause an effect of poisoning, freezing, shocking, burning, binding, or confusion, or temporarily boost the stats of the user. Don't mind the hellhole that I'm in right now, but as for the striker, its default Exocore is this Gauntlet in Boots, which that was its V attack. I'm going ahead of myself. And here's B attack, and as for its striker exclusive, I decided to pick out this Exocore, Invincible Fist. There you go. Got the V attack, which is kind of ground hit, and then the B attack, which is pretty basic but pretty flashy, and you know, it works for striker. As for Soul Fighter, we have its default Exocore, which is this thing. Its V attack is a barrage of claws. B attack, that is an attack that stuns the opponent whenever they get in the area of effect, which is a wolf that comes out of my soul. And the Exocore I decided to pick out for this was Soul Saber. Its V attack, it's area of effect. That attack is more of a contact attack, if that makes sense. You need a player do the B attack, and this animation comes out. Now for Elementalist. Its default Exocore is the Psi Force. That's the V attack. Shoots out a pretty quick fierce. The B attack sends out a big homing fierce, and now you know where the bot is. I think it died. The Exocore I decided perfect. The Exocore I decided to use for this class is the Phoenix. Its V attack sends out the same kind of attack as the first one, which is Psi Force, and the B attack sends out a much quicker one, but it has an area effect that stuns the opponent. Yeah. Here's the Alchemist. Its default Exocore is Metal Force. Its V attack is kind of like a dash attack, can clear out many opponents in that area. B attack, same thing, but this time it's a ranged attack, so you don't actually go towards the opponent. As for the Exocore I decided to use for this one, ironically enough, this Exocore is called Cadeus and is used for both Alchemist and Elementalist. As for why, I'm pretty sure it's because they both use mana, but its V attack sends out a barrage of syringes in like a 3-direction radius that stuns the opponent, confuses them, and well, doesn't stun but confuse. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, it just confuses them and their controls get inverted. That's all it does. As for the B attack, it heals you and it heals any like teammate in that area. Yeah. Here we have yours truly, the Shaman. Its default Exocore is the Nagib's head. which V attack is an area of effect that poisons your opponent and knocks them down to the floor like a shoe. Its V attack is a whip. Now whip it. Oh, it's big good. But this one actually brings the opponent towards you like so, and stuns them to do any type of combo on them. And last but not least, we have the android. Its default Exocore is the beam launcher thing. I didn't really remember, but its V attack is an uppercut that sends the opponent flying like so. B attack is a range attack of an X, kind of like Teen Titans, the X, whatever, you know that villain, this villain right here, that guy, yeah. I didn't really get an exclusive Exocore for this class because who the hell really uses Android? I mean, people want to use this thing because of the RAM. The RAM is hilarious. Anyways, enough joking around. Not many Exocores are available for all classes to use, but there are dozens to choose from. Sacred Scrolls are one of the most important items in Rumble Fighter. It determines your fighting style and overall movement in the game, from traditional wow, I can't pronounce that word. From traditional fighting styles such as Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, Capoeira, and Karate, to fantasy fighting styles such as Ninjutsu, Dragon, Lightning, Wind, and Rage. There are dozens of scrolls to choose from. Find the scroll that best works for you. Your character gains experience points and levels up the more you play Rumble Fighter. Each level is given a numerical value depending on the amount of XP you have accumulated in the game type you play and your performance. As you level up, you will gain more access to more game modes, systems, and items in the shop, preferably the items that require the Guardian rank of level 20. Carats are the in-game currency used to purchase items in the shop. Carats are earned from battle, game events, and selling items obtained from adventures or anywhere else. This progress bar is just the total amount of XP you have gained overall. Once you reach the end, you will be rewarded with a free gift box. In the lobby, if you are just starting out, you will be in the Channel of Amateurs. Of course, if you train and whatnot, and be the very best, like no one ever was, you'll move up in the ranks of semi-pro, then finally professional, which by the way is pretty much pointless since you still rank up if you are in the free channel, where players of all levels can play together. Oh, also because the community is dying, so there is no other one in the other channels. But besides that, there are also times where tournaments are held, 1v1 streak battles against people who would most likely get wrecked faced. An EU channel, I'm assuming stands for Europe with no other rooms currently active, and a sudden death mode channel, all of which I never participated in, so I really wouldn't even be able to tell you what goes on in these channels. Anywhoozy, moving on. By selecting the menu button, you will see different game options. If you want to try and join a guild, you can do so here, and only while in a guild, you can manage guild activities to set up a member's status only for guild masters or vice leaders. Form, that is the guild's bulletin board where any member can post a message for the whole guild to see, or even create your own guild. Training, where you can beat a bot senseless and try out some moves or just practice with a scroll and or Exocore you just bought on any battle map. Survival is the place to go against 7 bots to try and defeat them all. Keep in mind, each of them come out at a set time, so try and kill them one at a time, or you will get overrun fairly quickly. The only real reason to do this is so when you reach level 15, you'd have to beat survival 3 times in a row, then relog to have the skill of non-mu, gaining the Guardian's Gem license. License to kill. Adventure mode is just what it sounds like, a mode of adventure, with 12 to 11 bosses to battle. The reason I say that is because of the occasional event island flaring up. But to be really technical, it's 13 to 15-ish or so, because you have the famous 2-in-1 boss fights we all know and love. There is also, however, this zombie mode, where you can fight against a horde of the undead in 2 modes. One having the option of a time run mode, which you can beat if you have enough health to get to the final boss, which is the same boss of the Sanctum/Sanctuary adventure mode. Or survival mode, that is almost the same as the timed version, only I don't think you can beat it. Just to see how long you survive is all. Oh, and you're stuck in one room. By the way, these guys hit like a Mo Sakura, so do proceed with caution. Both of these modes provide you with a bad arse sword and shotgun rain. You can only do this solo, not with a party, by the way. Moving on to this microphone looking thingy is a microphone shoutout box, which shows people how to do the /shout both in-game and in the lobby. Battle mode. Survival game can have 2 to 8 players in single or team mode. Rumble mode. Same deal, a mission-based battle games can have 2 to 8 players in a single or team mode. If you're not a lazy like me, you can create a room, be it adventure mode, battle mode, AI mode, a newer mode that puts you against 4 overpowered bots with different attacks and power moves that are similar to Exos but are embedded in the scrolls that you must fight against with 4 other people or yourself in 3 rounds, with the options of having a difficulty set to easy or hard. Oh, and here's a new map with it, close subway. Or rumble mode. In all honesty, I don't know what the plaza is even for. It was added when Rumble Fighter Reloaded on Game Campus, if I remember correctly, and you just spawn in a cracked version of Farmville with everything but your own damn scroll. I mean, like, what even is this, man? You can't even parkour from building to building. Like, it's just much of plaza-ness. I mean, at least we got these cool billboards, you know? All you can really do is one of the 2 things, which is play this frustrating mini game of Bomb Strike by left-clicking this hole right here, and fishing to obtain wavy treasure chest. If you get all the fish in exchange for 1 box, which isn't even as interesting as it was before. Wow, that brain fart. As it even was before, because it does the fishing for you automatically. Just why? My info opens up your character information and inventory. Store opens up the cash monet, which is wet coins, which used to be game coins, which used to be Astros, which of course is the best name for cash currency in game of all time. And Carrot Shop for all your face, clothes, accessories, scrolls, exocores, item, job / classes needs. Refinery opens up the enchanting page to enchant your gems for all the stats you have, except for critical and luck. There are no gems for that. Gems are stones that can be socketed into certain articles of clothing to boost a stat. Before you can socket a gem, you must enchant it first with the enchant cards available in the store. The better the enchant card, the higher the chances of success in upgrading your gem. Gems can be obtained from chests by completing boss modes. The harder the difficulty, the higher the chances of finding a gem. Simple, right? It's best to bring your friends along to speed up the process and increase your chances. If you no longer want to use a gem in your item anymore, you must go back into the refinery and use an extraction scroll. If you are low on luck, you can purchase gems in the store. All of the gems are available in the enchant section in the item tab. Metals opens up the metal shop for all the rare armor and accessories from bosses. Rune Book opens up the Rune Book page that can endow players with extra stats through normal gameplay, being Running Wild, Tyrant's Gauntlet, Shield of Dead Soul, Healing Spirit, Potion of Vitality, Animal Instinct, Wishful Singing, Determination of Fatality, Mortal Kombat, Sage's Wisdom, Horn of Luck, Fury Awakening, Essence of Flame, Iron Skin, and Marble of Storm. Blessings of the Elders are active for a limited number of games with the ability to activate stronger and longer blessings by using 3 or more runes at a time, one being the basic base. If you guys can guess which does what, then test your knowledge of games by saying so in the respective comment section below. Runes can be acquired through the following methods. First, login of the day, play any game mode for an hour that day, play 10 games, 3-round games only, of Battle Mode or Rumble Mode, beat Adventure Mode 5 times on any stage or difficulty, spend 500 Red Fox credits, and spend 10,000 carats. You can acquire up to 24 runes per day and only carry up to 30 runes at a time. Here is your option menu. Quests you can do daily, normal, which will run out eventually, and merit quests that will and could very well take you up to 10 years to complete them all. No joke, just look at these. Defeat 10,000 opponents on Moonlight Valley, etc, etc. Not possible. Messenger. That doesn't make you download some external app to use so you can message your friends and guild while potentially adding some new friends. But please, no stalking their details. Gift box. That gives you a one-way ticket to Scamville. For those of you who are familiar with Steam trades, you do know you would need confirmation on the sender's end to complete the trade, while as on here, you have to put your uttermost trust in strangers. Yippee! It's easy money, especially if you're trading carrots for Astros. Wait, I mean RC. Goddamn! System are options for your game's client. To briefly elaborate, wide mode allows your client window to expand when the game starts so that you can see more of the play screen during battles. This can only be used alongside window mode. Display damage shows the data values upon hitting an opposing character. This can be toggled in-game by pressing the insert key on your keyboard. Invite message, when checked, allows players to send you invites to their pre-game lobbies at any time. You can only receive and respond to the invitation in the waiting room through the lobby button. Otherwise, it would only be a notification. Hide UI can be toggled with the page up key on your keyboard to show or hide the time limit, health bars, and in-game names in battles. Then apply to confirm your configuration or default button to restore these settings back to its original setup. Let's be honest here, sound is pretty much self-explanatory, with the exception of voice support. This allows you to hear things like
Mission start!
in BM or death cries. Keyboard, to change up your controls to whatever you prefer, and macros. By pressing a button, you can quickly taunt someone with any of the emotes in-game or while in a room. Second password is just as secure stuff, even more by putting a password on your items if someone else tries to steal them and gift their account after GameGuard failed, and the hackening is upon thee. Speaking of in-game, I'd like to get to the nitty-gritty of this intro to RF, and that is the controls and commands. Here you have your basic controls, the movement keys. Jump with timing to change the ability of the second jump. Guard, punch, kick for the combat, with the ability to hold onto different overdrive and equipping them with the A and S keys. As for using their unique powers, they activate with the V and B skill. Side note, the V key has two functions, one being with an Exocore and without the Exocore, to utilize your supreme guardian prowess. It's the Namu skill. I'm talking about the Namu skill. There's nothing really special about it, since it's really only a one-time use thing, but it can be useful at times if your game sense is on point. With all these keys mentioned, it's important to know that there are even more controls by combining movements and attack keys. I mean, that's without even being said, but I just wanted to let you guys know, To dash, all you need to do is double tap a movement key in any direction and hold if you want to keep running. To tackle, while dashing, press the X key. You can ram an opponent, whether it be off the map or for whatever reason you want to, honestly. Pressing the C key in the dashing state does the swift tackle. But I wouldn't call it the swift tackle, more like the swift into, because it's not a tackle more than it is an interception maneuver. If you are ever in a pinch or in a panic situation, then there is a one-time move you can pull off by simultaneously pressing both the X and C keys to do the panic attack. Wow, that really sounds horrible now that I verbally say it out loud. How about I rename it to Swivet Strike? Has a nice ring to it. And yes, I did Google synonyms. Of course, like many things in life,
There are more than one way to do the same thing.
pretty sure my main man Confucius over here said that once upon a time. And by that I mean there is a counter move. Press the C and Z keys to counterattack an opponent's assault on your body. Be forewarned, for to time this counter on the exact moment, the exact frame your opponent attacks, in order for the move to be executed correctly. This takes a lot of practice and patience, not to mention game experience, to know when your enemy will do certain actions, which will take time, of course. Though guards can't be broken like in the Ninja Storm series of mine, there is a way around it by grabbing them with the X and C keys. Plain and simple. Each grab varies with whatever scroll you have at the time. Now with everything I explained here, all this varies and are liable to change depending on your scroll, so make sure you take the time to fully understand how your scroll works both in and out, by using it consistently and practicing with it religiously. It will save you in the long run.
Back in my day, we didn't have no fancy dancy F5 button to press in game. If we ever forgot our combos on a skill, we had to burn that shit in our noggins. You young whippersnappers!
Moving on to the room. Hashtag forever Onry. This is where you interact with people. You can't curse, you marshmallow. Did you even think about saying a bad word, you guava? Freaking raspberries, man. Long story short, typing in a cursed word or a general bad word censors it to a fruit. Cause marshmallow is a fruit. I know, it's not mostly fruit. Everything here in this room is pretty self-explanatory, except for the emotes or emoticons, whatever you want to call it. These are room exclusive, such as
over here.
Want to see in-game exclusive emotes? Then click the link on the screen or in the description below to see all the emotes of June 2016. Just watch for yourselves. And that's about it. Final thoughts? Well, it's enough to say that this game is basically Wolverine, facing war after war, relentless in the face of death. A true Ronin, man without a master. But seriously, I don't know how this game has survived for this long. Like, it's been up for more than 8 years, and apparently still going strong due to legal contracts and whatnot. But nonetheless, it's a really decently good skill-based fighting game. Technically, this is a pay-to-win type of game, but not exactly at the same time, because every time I say this, I feel like my logos of pay-to-win reflects every type of game. But if you allow me to explain, a person makes the weapon, not the weapon making the person. You can only be so good or OP with something if you know how to use it. Hell, I get wrecked by default with no stats, and that damn scroll only has 4 combos, all of which that doesn't exceed 3 hits. It's like trying to get a one-tap ace on dudes with aim assist, but because you're so bad at Call of Duty, you just bottom frag. There's just no point. The fact remains, if you really want a good opinion of this game, I suggest you download this for yourself and try it out because it's free. And there's way more that I didn't get to cover in this video that this game has to offer. So, as always, the link will be in the description down below. And on that note, I will see you later, fellow Critarians. Fare thee well.